Hey guys, it's Melanie. So today I am going to show you how I created this kind of simple bridesmaid bouquet. I will be showing you how I do the bridal version or accompaniment to this in my next video, so stay tuned for that. I chose this particular bouquet to demonstrate because it is actually fairly simple to put together, although I will have another video in the future that talks about all of the floral prep and the amount of time and effort that actually goes into creating something like this, because I'm going to make it look really quick in this video, but that's very deceiving. Proper floral prep is key to keeping this alive for the actual wedding day. So we'll talk about that in another video, but let's go ahead and let's talk about how to create this bad boy. So we're going to put this behind the camera here, and I'm going to show you guys what you're going to need. So for this particular bouquet, I have 3 stems of hydrangea, and you can see these are super hardy, super healthy. I decided to leave this collar of leaves on because I think it looks kind of fun. You are going to need Freesia, which is this right here. It smells amazing. It's super delicate. Do not touch the petals on this because they will brown very quickly. I have exactly 5 stems of Israeli Ruscus, which I sort of trimmed up. Normally it's got the leaves coming all the way down the stem. And I have some roses and another greenery touch that I will talk about in a second. These are a really pretty kind of beigey, blush-toned variety from Eufloria called Menta. This one is a cabbage head rose by the name of Moonstone. And then one of my personal favorites is Eufloria Avalanche. So these two come from the same floral grower, and these are honestly my favorite roses to work with because they're absolutely beautiful. And they're actually fairly affordable. In the bridal bouquet, you will see some true garden roses, and those are really expensive. So we could not afford to put those in all the bridesmaids bouquets, but I wanted something that was nice and large and just really impactful in the bridesmaids though. So another little element that I have here that's kind of fun is this greenery accent, and I apologize, I don't know what this is called. This is brand new to me. I just picked it up for the very first time at Market, so I will figure out what the name of it is and put it in the description box down below, so make sure you check it out there. And then in terms of supplies, you are going to need some ribbon of your choice. I am choosing a white satin. You'll need some floral tape. You will need some pins, cutters, scissors, and crowning glory. We'll talk about this at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Lisa's going to move around. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible so this video isn't super long, but I will try to explain each step as I go along. First thing I do is I take my hydrangea, which is my base, and I tuck them together to create a perfectly rounded base. So hydrangea is fantastic for this because it obviously takes up a lot of room. If you wanted to, you could just do a bouquet like this and it would be absolutely beautiful, but obviously we're going to jazz it up. I start with my greenery, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Ruscus. I'm going to start tucking it around the outside. So there are lots of floral rules for arranging. I don't follow a lot of them. One of the rules that I really like though is working in groupings of 3, so that is what you're going to see quite a bit here. So that's why I started with the 3 hydrangea. So basically where they're meeting, where the individual heads meet, is where I'm going to place the Ruscus. Here is another meeting point, so we're going to tuck that in there. And you'll be playing with these as you're going along, so you might pull them down a little bit further, you might pull them back up. So you are keeping a little ring with your pointer finger and your thumb, and that is where you are sticking everything into. So you can adjust how wide you need this to be as you're going along. Okay, there are also just a couple of these Italian Ruscus in the middle of the bouquet, so I don't need quite as much stem or greenery on the stem. So you're going to tuck this through the middle. So the great thing about hydrangea is it works as like almost like a template. So you stick things in and it allows the flowers to pass through the different holes. So it just holds them really nicely in place. So we're going to put that there. I'm going to take the other one and sort of cross from that, tuck that in. Careful not to stab your hydrangea leaves because you want those to stay intact. So then you've got a little something like this. And again, you could totally stop here, leave it at that, but we're gonna move forward with our other flowers. At this point, I am just going to start grabbing and placing. I'm not going to talk quite as much because I think it'll be pretty self-explanatory. I do have one rose that I always start with in the middle. And again, you're just weaving through, and you can see at the bottom here where it's coming out. So I'm just letting that go through. Try to very minimally touch the head of your roses. They will bruise from the oils on your fingers, so watch out for that. And if you do have to adjust them, try to get underneath and move it around. Okay, so let's actually start with our larger. This is the Moonstone. The Moonstone is going on the outside portion. You can see I've got some bruising here. It's really simple for me just to go through, take that off, and I'm tucking it right there. So you can see I'm trying to create that perfectly rounded look here. So those are a great space filler. So again, take it. You can move your leaves around if you need to, tuck it in place, and you are moving in a circle. Try to have all your stems kind of going the same direction. Move it around. Grab your last Moonstone, tuck it in between the leaves, and now you have this. So at this point, I'm going to go through with my Avalanche roses, and I'm going to start feeding them in between the hydrangea, tucking it in place, going around, finding the point where I want to insert it, and being careful of these leaves. And spread the hydrangea apart if you need to. Tuck it in. Again, twist. Oop. I can do this a lot faster when I'm not talking. So, tuck it in. So then you're at this point. You still have these beautiful Menta. So you're going to find where you want to place these, and I'm going to pick right here. I look for pretty even spacing because I tend to be big on symmetry. You don't have to be quite as picky as I am about it, but it's totally a Melanie thing. I do make a lot of bouquets where they're a little bit more wild, but this particular one needs to be a little bit more like coiffed. So that's what we're doing here. And again, twist, just hold the stems in place so that they're not shifting as you're going around. And then the last one is going to go right here. That is where I see a neat little hole that needs to be filled. Pull it through on the bottom here. Hold in place. Next, we're going to grab our Freesia. And we're just going to find where we want to place it. Weave it through, pulling it down. Twisting. So I will go clockwise, counterclockwise. It's just kind of whatever floats my boat that day. And I would like to do, I think, 4 in here. So I'm not paying attention to my rule of 3 here, but generally I like to do groupings of 3. But we do have quite a bit of extra of the Freesia, so we're going to be jazzing up some of the other Bridesmaids bouquets that I've already finished. So I like to put this right here. And I can grab from the bottom and then bring it through. And what's nice is you can twist it so you can kind of have it going the direction that works best for you. Most days you can. All right, sometimes you have to force the flowers. So at this point we have this, and again, this would be fine, but we want to add just a little bit more variety, so we're going to grab this really fun greenery accent, and we are going to look for best placement. So always hold the bouquet away from you and just kind of look where you think it would fit best, and again, start weaving it through that hydrangea. My phone is dinging. So we've got some there. Let's let's follow the rules of 3 here. So we'll stick a little bit right here. Again, grab the stem on the bottom. What did I just grab? That was my Freesia. There we go, found it. Sorry, lip gloss problems. And then pull that down. So now you've got it there. And one more. Let's see, which one should we pick? Probably this one. This is pretty perfect. So evenly spaced, would put that right about here. So carefully weave through. Once again, avoiding the hydrangea. And then just tucking that down. And then we have this. So this is our bouquet. We've got everything here at the bottom. And this is where it gets tricky sometimes because you really gotta have some upper body strength for this. These are heavy. You're gonna take your floral tape, and getting it started sometimes is the hardest part. So stretch it out because that is how it sticks to itself. Some people use wire. I prefer the floral tape. Some people use raffia. It just kind of depends. So you get it started. It sticks to itself. So you're gonna kind of wind down, and I like to put it right here between these 2 fingers so that you don't lose control of it. And you're just gonna wind down. Okay, so that's sufficient right there. And you're gonna come back up. Again, it sticks to itself, so making sure you're going over. Just rip that off. You can see how that sticks down. So now everything is together. So what we're gonna do next is cut these stems, and you're gonna cut them the length that you want. I'm gonna pick right about here. I'm just gonna go straight across, cutting. You don't want to cut them too short, so make sure that you don't do that. I have a feeling I cut that too short, but that'll be fine. So you want these to sit really nicely in your bouquet so that they're kind of almost like an arrangement. And it is helpful to have a little bit of room at the bottom here for them to really easily be able to drink. So with this one, for example, I'm going to cut these just a little bit shorter when I do the final cut before I put the ribbon on. You can see this one doesn't have the ribbon yet. So let's go ahead and take this out. And to do the ribbon, simply wrap it around. Getting it started sometimes can be tricky. And you're just going to do enough to cover your floral tape. Cut with very sharp scissors. You're going to tuck this back in on itself. Hold it in place. Take your pins. I like to do 1, 2, 3, me and my 3s, like that. There you have it. I might redo this and get it a little bit closer to this edge so it sits a little bit nicer. Adjust your ribbon if you need to get that perfect. Go through, make sure that you like how everything looks. Adjust your different leaves. You can play around with them if one's not cooperating or it tears. Get in there, pluck it out, and then get the rest of them to cooperate, but this is it. So this is your bridesmaid bouquet here. So yeah, last step is spraying it down with Crowning Glory. This hydrates all the petals. So that just went in my face. What you're gonna do at this point is let this dry completely. Put it back in the vase with nice fresh water. And then once the Crowning Glory has dried completely, the best thing to do is to put this in refrigeration so that it stays as fresh as possible. But that's it. So there's your bouquet for Bridesmaid. And if you guys have any questions, leave them down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I'll see you in the next video.